Welcome, everybody, to episode number 20. A milestone achieved, and only 5 more episodes to go until the Great Calamity, which is the second TPK. I have planned it. I have written it.
Not?
I have scripted it, and these people will... No, they won't fail. They will continue living, because this series will go on until all eternity. Man, that'd be great. No. We will have to focus on the here and now, for that is what is important. And the here and now is, of course, the introduction of our wonderful, wonderful players. Starting off with the one and only...
The one and only Greg. I am playing Iric Spanner, a human artificer who I'm starting to run out of things to say about him. He's just... There's just a lot happening. And he's not at all ready for it.
Yeah, that's me next. I'm Matt. I'm playing Fiera, a human wizard. From a place that doesn't usually have wizards. Yeah, making connections that are connected, deep, dark, dangerous, and all the other Ds.
Okay, sounded a bit wrong, but continue to the next one.
Hi, I'm Skit. I play Isabella Leafina, the High Elf Druid / Cleric. And yeah, she's a little bit out of her comfort zone now, and trying to figure out what the next move is going to be and keep her friends alive.
And then there's me. I'm Felicia. I'm playing Arya, the High Elf Soul Knife Rogue. Her pride's been taking some hits lately, and she's starting to doubt that she can become a good protector for her friend when she can't even protect herself. So she's starting to doubt herself just a little bit.
You know, a healthy amount of doubt is, well recommended by some people. But maybe not by all. Yes! These are our players. These are the characters that they are playing. And I don't think we have to delay any further. We're just gonna jump right into today's episode. It's always sad to see people die. It really is. Rotten corpses infested with blight. The smell of burning flesh in the air. And the sight of your fellow friends heaped up in a pile. Burning away slowly and turning to ash. Really makes you start to think after a while, why the hell we even do this? It's not like we're getting anything from it anyways. No. In fact, all we get is seeing our comrades die, day after day. To protect the people is what some of us tell ourselves. But I've learned that any excuse to convince oneself will eventually wear itself thin, and you'll have to desperately find a different lie to convince yourself from continuing on. So you can truly believe me when I say this is nothing personal. My life just wasn't that great. And now I ended up here with you. But don't worry, it'll all be over for you shortly, and in a twisted way. I kind of envy you for that. I'm too scared to die. But someday I will. And I'll be happy when that day comes. Yup. Gonna start us off then with, as usual, a quick recap. You guys, after having suffered a curse or something similar while visiting the Grand Arena to witness what you presume to be a somewhat innocent spectacle of people fighting for some money, you unfortunately got deeper into things you once again don't really understand. You each now have been somehow marked, having a weird symbol engraved on your forearm, your right one specifically, and with that also suffered some sort of mental toll, at least some of you. One of you in particular, stronger than the others, Arya, who has been hit rather hard to a point where she stayed unconscious for the better half of a day, after which you've kind of retreated to kind of regain your bearings on the current situation that you were once again placed in. However, it wasn't completely fruitless, as Fiera in the Sky Lounge made a few connections with, it seems like another mage who was there on kind of, you know, personal investigatory duties, and the owner of the arena itself, and most notably Thomas Bauwerk, who was the sponsor of the arena, and would also later contact him as Fiera, that is, to have a private meeting with this individual to address the complaints of what has happened in the arena. So you went to visit his abode alone without telling anyone where you were going. You ended up being drugged, ended up in what seemed to be like a private dungeon. You were questioned, but seemingly extremely agreeable with all the conditions or kind of things that Timmons had to say. You made yourself a new friend, it seemed like, or maybe not friend. Friend is a strong word, and temporary ally at least, as you had similar goals in sight, and it would be foolish to kind of ignore these similarities. And so you strode out with no harm done to you or Endel, and blissfully unaware of what has happened to the other group, kind of make your way somewhere, while the others, who wanted a day off to visit the library, instead decided to check in on Arik's old home, and unfortunately, against all odds, found Arik's old, well, not old, well, he was old, but his friend, I think he could be considered a friend, who famously commissioned a wake, which has been mentioned several times. And you found him with this wake, hanged from the ceiling, bleeding out, and with Calix sitting on the bed. After which you attempted to interact with him in certain ways, tried to maybe cover him with a duvet that was on the bed that he was sitting on, throwing a dagger which went through him, and then a twist of events, he then took the dagger and asked you a very simple question, mother or father, after which Arya and Israel obviously did not want to answer, after which point the dagger he then let go, fell on the floor and disappeared, and you assumed the worst, and as such he responded with what price you would pay to not have this happen. Ari gave her response. She would rather have herself disassociated from her family forever if it meant that they lived. Israel, not convinced of the deeds that he's been doing, tried to kind of dispel him or the thing that is projecting him in her own head, but unfortunately failed to do so. Whether or not his magic is stronger or it isn't a magical thing that is happening, you aren't quite sure. He then stood up, kind of shook his head in amused disappointment, after which he then melted in blood and disappeared. You contacted the authorities, contacted one member of the Inquisition who came, talked with her, asked them to get the Ministers of Defense so you could talk with her. And that is kind of where we left off last time. And that is, I guess, where we're going to start off again. You're still in front of Eric, so you have just heard the other Inquisition member kind of, talk with the guards and then start to head up into the room investigating. And the last thing she said was to, not interact with many people, since whatever you are holding, the effects are known, whether it can spread or affect other creatures. And so just from her gut mind, she just recommended to, maybe keep to yourselves for some time being. And if you wanted to look into anything, the Inquisition archives would probably be the best way, which you were trying to head to anyways. So, Eirik, Arya, and Israel, what do you do?
Me being me, I think that we should go to the library, like, right away.
That would be nice.
That is also my first instinct. Just go to the library.
And then maybe just like stay there for a few weeks and not come out.
We have lots of pressing matters at hand. I don't think that's going to be possible for us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, maybe just let the Inquisition know that we're going to the archives, and if we're not at the archives, we'll be at our residence on the high plains. But we should probably keep ourselves to either locations and not spread around too much. Like, let's go to the archives, see if we can find anything, and then go back to the high plains and stay there until we have answers. At least for now.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the safest option for us right now.
I'm so curious if any of the other hundreds of people down there are going through what we're going through.
I'm sure they are. I highly doubt that we're singled out.
Yeah, I don't think it's only us.
You think? Good.
Because, like, sure, we're, like, investigating, like, crazy stuff, but, out of the thousands of people down there, we were only a few that did not drop unconscious. So, like, if even I am affected by this, I don't see how the others down there wouldn't be.
I'm gonna try to find the defense minister. Real fast. Did she already leave?
She wasn't there yet. They called for her, but we don't know how long it's gonna take before she gets here.
Okay. Then I'll find the other Inquisition person that had came. Because I know somebody did.
Yes. Yeah, she's inside. If you also step back inside, you can do that.
Yeah, as much as I don't want to go back inside, I'm gonna put my big girl panties on and go inside and talk to her real fast.
Okay, yeah, you can see she's just currently looking down the room, talking with some other guards who are there. Notice you stepping back inside, looks back at you. Yes, is there anything you still need inside of here?
I just had a quick question. Have you guys had like an influx of deaths recently that are strange?
Well, apart from the obvious demon attack that occurred a few days ago, no. Why are you asking?
So, because one of my friends made a point, we can't be out of all the people that were at this event, and we can't be the only ones affected by this. We saw other people there that had dropped. So I feel like they could be experiencing similar things to what we are, so there could be more deaths on the way.
Oh, yes. I think I already mentioned this, that I will do that. As you said, you have a very particular odd occurrence happening with you with the information loss on your friend Eirik. Like I said, I will keep an eye out. If anything more on that nature starts to appear, then I can confirm that whatever is happening to you is truly what is actually going on.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was communicated, that there could be a lot more deaths coming.
Yes, you did mention that, and that is something that I am most definitely keeping a eye out on.
Thank you. And then I'll make my leave.
And you're going to the library, am I correct?
Yes.
Alright, then I will just send the Ministers of Defense over to the library, alright?
Thank you.
No worries. And she continues with her work.
So she's gonna send the minister to the library to meet us.
We should get going then and not waste any more time here.
Eric, are you sure you don't need anything out of here before we fully depart?
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to go in and disrupt what they're doing. If we come back, we come back. Whatever.
To the library then.
Okay. You then step off from the Stargo district and make your way to the Wissensbezirk, following Eirik's lead. It's not too far away, you just have to go through one area to get there, which you already have been before, obviously. That is where the Azathia College is, and you kind of go through the rumbling streets of still filled people. It's still quite early in the morning. You left, you woke up and then you immediately left. So it's like approximately 11 a.m. still in the morning. So more people are now out on the streets. So you do have to kind of, weave your way through. But you do eventually make your way there and kind of go past the very obvious church that resides in the middle. Where you see a few holy persons coming in and out, and some normal people. Seems like they are, at least from the last time you were there, which isn't like the best comparison because the last time you were there was a lockdown, so there was literally no one there. But at least Iwick, from what you can gather, the few times you've been in this area, there seem to be more people than usual there. Maybe because of all the events that are happening, maybe they just worried and, you know, started to turn their beliefs towards faith, or maybe some other reason you aren't quite sure, but it is noticeable that a larger group of people are there. But you kind of go past that to the same area where the college is placed. You can see in its vicinity there where all the other colleges are also built, a very kind of elongated structure that is kind of a block connected to a dome-like building, or more like a cylindrical building that has a domed top on it. And you can see that it's kind of like carved in a way that there are several like kind of leaves that seem to like kind of almost wrap around a domed structure. And the library itself is completely white, similar architectural style like the High Castle, so it is well made, definitely. And you would know, Eric, that the kind of main structure of this dome is supposed to resemble a white lotus, which is also the name of the library itself, the White Lotus Library. And you can see from the squared structure there's a grand entrance that is currently open, students coming in and out with a handful of books, parchment, quills and papers, all learning materials required to study inside of there. And you can make your way inside. And as you do so, you can immediately go into like kind of the front foyer. We can see a very nice bright orange marble floor with a few kind of white patterns inside of it. Very pristine, clean, it's shining. White load-bearing pillars that kind of go all the way back, and you can see at the end of this foyer is another set of doors which are currently closed. You can see two guards are in front of it, normal guards, something you expect. And on the left side there is a desk with few people just kind of interacting with other people. Presumably that's like the counter if you like want to have a book taken, or if you found a book you can leave it there, and then, you know, it's just kind of a information desk basically. So, but I know you can just head straight inside the library if you wish to do so. Okay, and then you do that, you kind of just walk your way there. Guards gives you just kind of a nod, just acknowledging that you're going inside. You open the big glass doors. Nice orange dark wood mahogany for craftsmen, it's just nice to touch. And as you step inside, it is a very dimly lit space, and as the door closes behind you, you can immediately feel the silence as the door is being shut, and the outside obviously is being shut out because the inside of a library is used for studying, and the only thing you can hear are the turning of pages, the soft mumbling of a few students discussing a certain topic, maybe about politics or something arcane. And what you see in front of you is just a front area with loads of tables set there where most of the people have gathered. That seems to be like the main gathering or study place where you can go. You can see on the right side and the left side there are booths cut out if you want even more private space. And then at the back of it, almost like in a circular motion, there are just rows and rows of bookshelves stacked, ladders accompanied with each one of them if you want to gain access to one of the higher shelves. And you can see that on the very end there's a staircase that leads to a second floor. And you can also see like several page boys, and in this sense literal page boys, kind of standing on the side on the pillar. You can see one of the students kind of goes towards them, talks with them, whispers, and then the page boy runs off. And the guy goes back and sits to his place and just starts reading a book he already has. So what would you like to do?
Well, I don't know about you guys, but Arya, were you still able to do your mind thing? Is that something we can do in here?
I was told that I should take it easy with that. I mean, I can try.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we don't know yet exactly like what's still the impact on Arya's mind.
Yeah. No, I just thought maybe if we should communicate not loudly or verbally at all, but I would. Yeah, if you can't, you can't. No big deal.
There are definitely certain words that we should avoid saying out loud in here.
All right. Well, what are we all looking for?
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
there's a lot of books here, and what we're looking for is not really well accepted, and probably part of the quote unquote private section or like closed off section. So we probably need someone's help that's not gonna run off and try to report us for what we're trying to look for. So we have to be careful who we ask help.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I can't imagine the pages are gonna really be that, suspicious of us. They're just doing their jobs in here.
Yeah, and I'm gonna like really lower my voice and like get really, really close to Arya and Eirik to make sure that I try so nobody else hears. And I'm like, I don't think us coming in here and asking about one of the darkest necromancy magics is going to look very well.
Yeah, no, you're right, I guess. Yeah.
Just trying to get us as far away from trouble as possible while still trying to find the information that we need.
Well, I don't know how effective it'll be, but if I flash my badge around, they may not question us too much. If we just say that we're on an important business.
That's why I'm wondering, like, there's this, there's the information desk kiosk at the entrance. Maybe if, Arya, you went there alone, to talk to them about to one of them, maybe they could point us in the right direction or to the right page to ask. And we can try to limit the amount of people that know that we're looking for this.
I would like to quickly add, since you're a member of the Inquisition, like I said, there's an Inquisition archive, which is a cut-off section from the normal archive, which is where you usually go if you have private investigatory tasks to do, which obviously would probably be available to you.
Okay. So we can go to the Inquisition archive, which would be slightly different than the regular library, and there might be more records in there.
Yeah. So we would just need to know where the Inquisition archive is located in here. And I'm
What I
just gonna
have-
start looking around.
Would I have a general idea of where it would be?
You have an info desk available towards you. They most definitely know. It's usually you just ask them, and they would just lead you there, or you can.
Okay, so I'll go up to the desk.
Okay, you can see a young, what seems to be like probably female human, probably in the 20s, blonde hair, got white robes on with green sleeves. Kind of looks up to you and says, "Yes, how may I help you?"
Hey, I need to gain access to the Inquisition archives, and I'm not sure exactly where they're located.
All right. Well, I obviously need ID to confirm that you are.
So I'll show her my credentials.
Okay. And your tattoo you would show her too.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks at it and kind of acknowledges. Alright, very well. Just follow me real quick. And she kind of stands up, takes like something under the desk. You can see she's now holding a sort of key. And then she just kind of leads you back into the library itself. Goes to one of the back corners that seems to be quite secluded from the rest of the library. And then goes to one of the bookshelves, which she kind of just nudges a bit, and then you can see it just kind of folds in like a door. And then behind the folded door on the wall side, there's another door, which she then unlocks and then opens in, and you can see there's a staircase that leads down. She just says, here you go. Coming out is quite simple. You would just exit from the other side of the library, and there are other page boys and equivalents down there if you need any help for research. Yes.
Just before we go down, is there any other researchers, or has anyone gone down recently?
Oh, it's often occupied by the members of her likes.
But no one else that seems like, not entirely truthful or anything. It doesn't seem like there was any.
That's quite the vague question.
I'm just worried about going down into the basement of some. Sorry, I'm just. There's a lot on my mind. I'm just trying to be careful.
Understandable. I mean, I think this is the safest part of the library if you're worried about, I don't know, being theft or something. Anyways, just have to get back to the desk, so I will leave you to it. Then kind of enter inside.
Thank you.
She has already left. As you go inside, the door closes behind you, and you can hear the bookshelf kind of going back to its place. And you can see the interior space of this is well lit, so you can see the stairs well made. This obviously has been crafted as part of the library. It wasn't like other secret chambers you were inside of that were, obviously separately built from the actual structures. This was built intentionally with the structure itself. So as you go to spiral down, you don't go like very far. This isn't like, you're going to the underground or stuff like that. Maybe it goes down like maximum of like 10 feet. So as you just go around the curve, you're just greeted with another door which you can easily open, and then you see a similar space, almost like a copy from the upstairs, placed down here. Same kind of structure of bookcases. In the middle there are rows and rows of tables, and there are a couple of people also just sitting here, but they definitely look a little bit different. Have a similar attire as Aria or the other Inquisition member you have met before, and they're all currently just, reading. Some of them do look up as you kind of enter, just kind of give an acknowledging glance to, Aria. Look a bit strange to Eirik and Isorel, but you're accompanied by another Inquisition member, so they just kind of ignore it and continue to do their own studies. And as you enter there, we will quickly switch back to Fiera to see what the hell she's up to. And with that, what the hell are you up to?
Oh, what a question. I'm standing outside the Golden Bow Estate. Lovely. I know you probably haven't been up here too much, Indel, but do you have any idea where the library is?
I would presume where all the other education stuff is. I mean, it makes the most sense, right?
Oh, yeah, probably next to the college. That makes sense. There's 2 guards outside, right? I assume they're still outside.
Yes. There are 2 guys outside.
I'll just walk up to one of them. Excuse me, had a lovely stay, by the way. I was wondering if you knew where one might go to look up some stuff, like an open library. One I probably wouldn't need a membership from the college to go into.
Oh, yeah, sure. The Wissensbezirk has the White Lotus Library. As far as I'm concerned, it's an open library, and if you have a student license, you just get special boons. I don't know how to call it.
Other guard looks. Yeah, can call it boons.
Yeah, I would guess that's the best place where you can find open knowledge.
Let's see. Well, that would be a good place to start looking. Thank you. Oh, which way?
You just go down the road, and then you will come to the West Wing barracks. Just go through there, and then the other gate you'll already reach the Wissensbezirk. And then you just go behind the main church, and then the building's quite obvious, very white, has a lotus-like structure on the roof, and you'll find your way there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
And
Oh, do you 2 ever get bored standing here all day?
they kind of look at each other with like a...
No.
I understand.
a very sarcastic no.
Right. Well, things may get interesting in the next couple days, so no worries. Then I'll walk up.
They look at each other once again, but their smiles fade. Okay.
That did not sound suspicious at all.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Fiera always has to make an entrance and an exit.
Yes,
Okay.
that's my new plan.
So I guess you immediately just step to the library.
Yeah, but on the way there, when there's nobody around, I'll send a quick sending out.
To?
Oh boy. So the first one, we'll go to, let me make sure I got his name right.
Okay.
To Saints, Heinrich Ildegar.
Heinrich Ildegar. Okay.
Heinrich Ildegar. I don't know how German it goes.
Always go full, is what I say.
Well, yes.
Well, if you...
Yeah. So to him, I will say, that took some work to unravel. The Truth Seeker Fellowship. I'll let this scheme continue, but we should talk properly before it peaks in Sudanese.
Okay. He will... Oh man, I just read another NPC's name. I forgot that he was called like that. Anyways, he will respond and say, "Oh, found it finally, did you? Knew you would align properly. Don't worry, it's not just Suna near that will peak."
That's so. Gosh, probably still wants to send to my brother, but that is super scary. Okay, I guess I'll probably just wait to hear back from him and continue the library.
Okay. You then just kind of go the same way. You also pass the church. See a few people there. Doesn't seem so uncommon for you. For you, in fact, it would seem like there are less people than normal there because you're used to churches being flooded back at home. So you just kind of walk past them and see quite obviously the white structure with the semblance of a white lotus built atop this building, and enter inside where you meet the info desk. Everything's the same. You can either choose to just go straight inside or look at the info desk.
Ooh, I guess the easiest thing to do would go to the info desk.
Okay. Kind of walk there. You can see there's currently a young human boy there who's kind of looks at you. Just you. Welcome. Is there anything you need help with?
Yes, it's my first time here. Well, I wouldn't mind perusing through everything you have. I do have business to do. I was hoping you could help point me in a specific area that has to do with arcane history, or even history in Goals.
Excuse me, history in golds?
Colas?
Oh, Colas. Oh, yes. Yes, we have extensive sections of arcane history and Colas's political interactions, economic interactions with Azathia and the Own, the Order Throne. Yes, so you can find inside. You may step inside, find your surface place to sit, and you can call upon one of our page boys, who will, for a small cost, try and find any books you like in the topic you wish to delve your studies inside of. And if there's further resistance, you can either ask the page boys or return to me, and I can hopefully see that I can help you further if that is required. At this point, the door kind of opens and a female human kind of comes back and then sits down on the desk. Back to her. Seems like this is like a 2-desk position.
Gotcha. Wonderful. And will these page boys have experience with the arcane? I assume there's probably some students from college here.
Well, no, the page boys are only acclimated to the layout of the library, so they can search specific books and specific topics that you would like. Otherwise, you would have to spend probably hours just looking around the library trying to find the right book in the right section. This just makes things a little bit faster.
I see. I think for a moment. How big's the library? What, like, is it like maybe 100 feet wall to wall, or?
In the section you're currently at, since it's 2 parts, you're in like the squared chamber, and then there's the dome-like. You would have to go into the dome-like chamber. From the outside, at least from first glance, it definitely is a little bigger than 100 feet. Definitely, it's maybe like, I have to like calculate it in meters. Probably like 40 meters, which is like
120 feet?
120
Times
feet.
3?
Yeah, in radius, not diameter. In radius.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
I look around. Do I see the group anywhere?
Your group?
Yeah, I do believe they mentioned going here to
Yes.
study.
Well, you're currently there where the info desk is. You can't see in the library because there the doors are closed. Obviously, to have the privacy part of the library stay silent, you would have to go inside to see if they are there, but they aren't here in the main foyer.
I see. Okay, well, I'll help myself for now. Thank you so much.
No problem. And just kind of shows you to the door.
Perfect. Then I'll just make a way inside and head to, I guess, the middle and see if we can find them.
Yeah. Quick glance. They aren't there. And also looks around. And kind of says, well, there is a second floor that leads up. Maybe should I look if they're upstairs?
Are there doors?
Uh,
Do I recognize there's doors to other areas?
So, like I said, middle is just tables. On the right and left seems to be like booths, similar to the Sky Lounge, where you have like these private booths, which obviously have doors.
Okay. The easiest thing to do is just cast message in different directions toward Izarel with like a whispered, "Hello, are you here?"
Okay.
It goes like 120 feet, I think.
Yeah, it's 120 feet. Make a. Oh, what would that be? I would just say a.
A luck check.
Yeah, I was thinking like what would be the straight intuition? Just roll a d20. Yeah, it's just a d20.
Straight up D20. 6.
You point around. There's nothing there. I will also say, since Fiera is smart, above average, you also recall that she has something that specifically doesn't allow anyone to communicate in her mind. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Oh, the ring. Yeah, I guess I don't know if she gave it to anyone else. I don't think she did.
Could easily be that, or she's not there because the ring does allow one to choose to hear, which you would also know because you had the ring. So either she's choosing to ignore you, or she's not here.
To use ascending or to not use ascending? That's always the question. There won't be a fight today.
Famous last words.
I'll just head into a booth, so it's semi-private then, and send a message to. Do I know if Arya's up and about? I don't think I do. I know Eirik doesn't like people in his head. Choice would be Izarel, but I don't want that to get blocked. So yeah, I'll send it to Eirik. Good afternoon. My meeting's over. I believe I'm at a library. I'm not sure if it's the one you are at. Where are you?
All right. So as soon as I hear this in my head, I trip and I like fall over like a chair or something in front of me.
You immediately hear, "Shh, quiet."
Sorry. Fiera's just messaged me.
Where is she? And I'm trying to stay as quiet as possible.
Where is Vera? As normal sounding.
We're in the White Lotus Library. We went down secret staircase, and I think it's the Inquisition archive.
I think that must be 25 words already.
Yeah.
Secret staircase. I'm just supposed to.
Is Vera in the library? Eirik?
Well, yeah, she said she's in a library. She's not sure what library we were at, but
Can someone send a
think
message back that says
I think there's only one library here. I think they mentioned it, right? So she must be upstairs right now.
I mean, I told her that we went down a secret staircase.
I'm visibly facepalming.
What? What? That's what we did.
yes? I
Didn't
could
you
have went,
mention the archives?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
could have went and got her.
Okay.
So I'm gonna look around for one of the people that work in this area.
Okay, yeah, a page boy. You see one standing there.
One of my companions arrived to the library after us. Is there a way that you could go look for her and then bring her down here for me?
Yes, of course. I just need a visual description.
Bright red hair. Oh man, I don't know what she's currently wearing. Israel, what was she wearing last time you saw her?
She was wearing her noble clothes. She should be I do believe she's pretty easy to spot with like a very Lichness-esque presence. And she has a bodyguard with her as well, and she wears glasses.
And bright red hair.
Yeah, very bright red hair.
Right, yes, I think don't see many people with bright red hair, so I hope she will stand out. I will do my best to find her then.
Thank you.
He kind of washes off. Fiero, you're in a private booth right now, right?
Yeah, but after the message, he mentioned a hidden staircase, which kind of piqued my interest. So I'm gonna go look behind bookshelves to see if any move, or have like a hidden button, or a lever, or like a special book. So that's what I'll be doing for the next minute.
Okay.
It's just like a Scooby-Doo episode. Where
She
back and forth.
The page boy goes
Yep.
behind one bookcase and you go out of the other, and then he goes out and then he goes out one. I would just say, for the sake of remedy, that he will eventually find you. Your flash of bright red hair is very obvious in this dark space. So after a while, as you kind of step out and then start inspecting and touching bookcases to see if they move, since you also came out of a secret passageway only a few minutes ago.
I'm used to it now. So.
Yeah, so you're like, maybe this could move, and then one book just falls off the shelf, and then you just pick it up and put it back. At which point, one of the page boy kind of acknowledges you and says, "Oh, are you? Did you tell him her name? No, you didn't.
Oh no.
You are
A
being
friend of mine.
looked for by two women and a male."
Yes. Not this one. Okay. Yes. You have a secret staircase to show me.
Yeah, sort of.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, alright. I just wanted to know if you're the right person. And then turns around and starts taking you there. Pushes the staircase. You see, as they do that, they aren't like specifically trying to avoid anyone being there. Like if someone is at the aisle of the bookcase, they will still do it. It's not like this is like super secret, nobody can know that it's there. Just like, it's away from general public. If somebody notices, most people know the Inquisition kind of does their job there. It's like the state of the FBI. You kind of know where it is, but you don't go inside. That's sort of
Gotcha.
secret. So he kind of opens the key lock to the door, and then you are brought down, where once again, similar room. And there you can also see your three other friends standing there awkwardly, kind of just in the space. The other Inquisition members that are inside of here also kind of look up. I look at the other group, and I just kind of look down again.
For that group.
Yeah, definitely.
You found her. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I would have found this place eventually, but yep, help was definitely help.
Man, we've been kidnapped. Psh!
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Let's go to like a side corner kind of away. And I kind of wave to the other people like that are there. Sorry. And I kind of
Yes, it gives like that
try
typical.
to usher her and find a way.
And then go back to reading. And like I said, it's a copy of the room on top, so there is like a set of private booths if you would like to take any of them.
Perfect.
Yes.
Just before we walk away from the page, I'm just gonna give him 5 copper.
Kind of takes it. Oh, very kind of you, sir. Yes, not required, but I appreciate it.
Oh, we've been looking for her, so it's much appreciated.
Okay, and then he pockets it with a smile on his face, and then returns to his station. And take one of the private booths, open the door, close it behind you, and inside you can see just looks like a very typical study chamber. There's like a pot plant inside of here to give it a bit more liveliness. And then there's just a central chair. Not central chair. A torture chair. No, a
My
central
God.
table with like 4 chairs there. And it's just a blank room with wooden walls, except for the furthest wall, which is out of stone, which is, the end of the actual building. And yeah, you're in a private space. And Endo kind of just looks around and says, I guess I have to stand?
You know what? I've sat plenty for today. I'll stand.
Oh,
So what's this about you being kidnapped?
kind of slowly sits down.
Well, the gentleman we were meeting with wanted to put on a show. And it was a bit much, but they got the point across.
I mean, you did the same, right?
Yes, we were both putting on a show. His was a bit better.
Why?
Oh, just test the waters with each other.
But is he an enemy or an ally?
I wouldn't put him as either. I think it's someone I can work with in the future, but for the next couple days, he's quite busy. So I will be helping you all.
Did he say why he kidnapped you?
He thought I was someone from the Lichnius who came to spy on him.
Why would we be spying on him?
No, I think Fiera being from the Lichnius was the suspicious part.
Yes, a lot of people here, well, there's a lot of dark dealings in the city, as we've learned. And obviously he has his own dealings, and assumed I was here to arrest him.
But you weren't, right?
No.
Okay.
Or were you?
Endo says.
Said, okay. So,
Just Calyx in the back.
And you all look over to the pot plant. And it's still a green plant.
yep, just with like Calyx's face on it.
Yeah.
Googly eyes on the face, looking at us.
With a tongue sticking out.
But yes, long story short, the meeting was fruitful. But I believe we all want to look into the magic situation, the blood magic situation. Kaylee?
Yeah, definitely. So we had a little run-in with the image of Calyx again.
I'm not too surprised.
We stopped by Irik's house before coming here, and it looks like he was erased from the surface of the earth.
Right, of course. You recognize me, right?
Do I? I assume I sent a sending to him. I
Yeah.
sent this morning.
Okay,
Yeah. No,
of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So apparently, I don't exist anymore.
Like legally, he doesn't exist anymore.
His house got
But
put up for sale, and one of the
the
people in our barracks didn't know who he was.
apparently his room was never put down in his name. Up in the high plains.
Right, so let me just catch you up because you didn't hear it. So, um, when we did the whole unconscious thing at the fight, um, in my head, there was something that kind of, someone was talking to me and was asking me what I wanted, what would I do to sacrifice someone to do. There was just a lot of questions going on. I was so confused about what was happening. um I was I I really wanted to um get rid of the problems that we were going through, and I thought this was kind of just like um like a just I don't know if it was like a test or anyway, being completely just confused, I said that I would like to um, eliminate the source of my issues, which would have been, and I forget her name again, Zilanath. The one that we saw at the warehouse that first time that we went.
Briefly.
So
Yeah.
right, so I said that she was the problem. She was what caused all of this to start, spiraling for me. So I said that if she could not be alive anymore, that would be great. And then that would help, um, clear my name and clear the guild from all of the stuff that's been going on. And in that, I may have said that I wished that my name be completely removed from official guild records. But apparently that was taken a little bit extra by Calyx, or I'm assuming Calyx, and it seems like he's um, eliminated me completely.
And this was in your dream.
Yes,
That happened when?
when I was unconscious from the thing.
Oh, that's Arena.
Yeah.
So, do you remember how Eirik here mentioned his old friend and the rake?
Uh, yes, you build rakes. Sure.
Yeah. We found that man hung on the ceiling through his rake, on Eirik's ceiling in his bedroom, and that's where Calyx was waiting for us, or
And it
the
was-
image of.
And you're sure it was real? Not some illusion?
Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah. It was absolutely real.
Yeah, there was blood dripping and it smelled awful, and
And the Inquisition is investigating right now. So yeah, it's
So somebody else
definitely
witnessed
there.
this as well. Okay.
Yep.
So the intensity is more than I assumed. When I spoke to this new patron of mine, not patron, that's not the right word. Coworker? I don't know. I'm not sure what we are yet. I did mention to him the Mark, and I wanted to see if he had it, which he did. Apparently, he has a contact that is a. I look at the door. It's closed, right? There's no
It
like
is
open windows.
closed. No.
Okay. He knows a contact that studies blood magic, and this blood magic studier. Don't know how much we can actually believe him, but so as long as you don't actively, how can I put it? Talk to or converse or if you ignore these images and these words, then nothing will happen. Obviously, that's
Um,
hard to do when you're in a dream.
Um, so I'm kind of interacted with it, and I don't know what the consequences are yet.
We might have a small problem on our hands. He may have threatened Arya and I's family, and we may have lost our temper at him.
I
May?
see.
Okay, I threw a dagger at him.
Oh, see, that's okay.
And I was asked what I would give up to save them. And I said something along the lines of I'd rather not be a part of their family if it meant saving them.
And I just
So
said no.
I may not have a family anymore other than you guys.
Okay, so this Calyx fellow is a wish granter, a puppeteer of situations to make people interact with him. And then when he does get them to interact, he does it in a very twisted way, as I point out to Eirik.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of liberties.
Yes. This is a gargantuan problem as there are so many people in the arena who will be interacting with him. I assume we're
I
not the only ones.
I had
Yeah.
asked the Inquisition member that had came to Eirik's former house, since it's now for sale and he apparently doesn't own it. I asked her if there had been. It kind of laid everything out for what has been going on. I asked if any other strange things have been happening, because I feel like we can't be the only ones that are getting messed with.
Probably not, but it also takes time, and everybody wants something different. But if he's interacting with others at the degree he is Eirik, then honestly, we might not notice if he can bend reality as he seems to have. There might be things going on that we won't know. That already happened.
Uh, yeah, definitely. But we did let the Inquisition know that there might be an increase in flux of weird happenings and deaths and maybe stuff that doesn't look quite right.
Hmm.
We were advised to come to this library, to research to see what our archives might have that could help us.
Well, then let's focus on that. Learning
Oh,
about
and
that
the
symbol and
Ministress of
magic.
Defense is, yeah, the Ministress of Defense is going to be meeting us here whenever she gets the message
Oh,
that we requested to see her.
Oh, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me.
I'm sure she'll be happy.
I'm actually looking forward to hearing from her because I'm still confused. I was told that she's stepping down, so I'm a little confused.
Yes, the next day or so.
So I'm hoping to get some answers from her about it.
Oh, and bad news. As I pulled on my sleeve. Turns out,
I-
well, I could get rid of the mark. I was told that the effect hasn't been taken away completely. So I'm assuming there's multiple effects going on, and I only got rid of one of them.
So we really definitely need to figure out what type of magic is affecting us.
Or
Because
find a
it's
way
not
to
just
kill him,
physical. Yeah.
Is this like a curse?
I think it is purely magical, but I don't know. We'll have to find out. I've never really been allowed to study blood magic. It's very heretical.
I'm hoping.
It wasn't my field of study when I was in school, unfortunately. So
And one problem
um,
is, Calyx is from Colis, right? Or the border of Colis and Azathia, I think we were told.
That's why you. Any stories you did here were famously of him being there.
That's where he does killing.
yeah, that's where he was operating, basically.
Ah, that makes it complicated. Could we tell his race when we saw him?
Not
Let's take a
really.
look at the picture.
The best you can ascertain is he looked like a tall, skinny human that had like
Oof.
drow-esque skin color. You know, the drow usually have like a blue kind of hue, but he was very completely desaturated. He didn't seem to have any color, and then obviously his bulging red veins and kind of blood pouring out of his underneath his eyeballs and stuff like that. It's
Interesting.
no specific race that comes to mind, at least. You can make
Humanoid at best.
yeah, you can make a history check to just kind of maybe know a certain race that has similarities, something like that.
22.
22. Yeah, the only thing you can kind of that is the most similar would be the director from the Vanswire district, who was similar because he looked like a drow, but he had
He was different.
yeah,
That's
he had
right.
completely dark hair, and usually drow have very bright white hair. And he also had a very extremely desaturated skin color, but he had like some hues, like a very light purple bluish hue to it. He's the similest in comparison. He was also very skinny, but he didn't have the veins or anything like that. So yeah, there's a. You do know that he definitely is different, but from the looks of it, he seems visually the same.
That's his dad. No,
Oh,
sorry.
that'd be
Don't
so
mind me.
sad.
Don't mind me. Don't mind me.
Could be. We don't know.
Man,
Okay, well, let's divvy up tasks then. I probably would find out the most about the arcane part of this. Maybe look into the effects of blood magic. Maybe one of you can look into the history of Calyx. And then maybe somebody look into. He mentioned a moon.
The
Some
blood
like
moon.
yeah. Then maybe somebody look into that.
I can look at the blood moon information unless Izrael that feels more nature-ish like to you if you wanted to look into that.
I feel like that would be a little bit more up what I studied and researched when I was back in school. But I don't mind if you wish to look into it. I can also look into Calyx. I just feel like you're more of the people person and investigator of people. But I don't mind switching it up if you want.
Oh, you're right. It was just my general curiosity that wanted to research the moon. But you're right, I should
No,
stick to what
I
I'm
get
good
it.
at.
We'll be sharing. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I'm not gonna keep that knowledge to myself.
And I look at Eirik. And you're with your skill set.
I don't care which one of you it is, but I'm gonna be with one of you because I do not want to go somewhere alone right now.
Oh, well, you can
Well,
join me and Dell.
and we're completely safe in here. This is a
I mean,
very secure.
physically, yes, but like, I'm not entirely sure about this right now.
Eric, do you want to hold the ring?
No, no.
He doesn't want glamour in his head.
But it won't let anybody else come to your brain.
True, but I
That's
believe
true.
with this effect, he's essentially fused part of himself with our bodies. So we are essentially. This effect is essentially him. Us. Sorry. Both.
You know, I just accepted that I won't understand it. And Eirik, you know, maybe you will just have to do the same.
What? What are you talking about?
Taking the glamour ring?
What? So Endo is speaking right now, just so you know.
Right. What do you not what do you don't understand, Endel?
Everything. Crazy guy appears, seems to change stuff. I get kidnapped. I come out seemingly fine. How the fuck am I supposed to understand any of that?
To be fair, we weren't really No, never mind. We'll talk. We were just moved from a location.
We were unconscious in one point, and then when we woke up, we were in a different location. Like in my books, that's kidnapping.
That sounds like textbook kidnapping. Yes.
Now, if it was on. Okay, never mind.
In a world of magic, that's the most analog kind of kidnapping.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, let's go crack open a couple books.
Okay. Endo stands back up again and just follows you. And you all go out. Okay. So, y'all can hire a page boy who will accompany you. That would be for free, since you are using the Inquisition. Usually it would cost something, but you don't have to pay because you have Arya with you. And as such, since it's kind of the page boys searching, they will have to do the role for you, but they have proficiency in searching for the books, which you wouldn't have because you got no idea where each of these books are placed. So, you can first tell me what you're looking for, and then we will just roll a straight d20, and then we will just see where it lands. And we're just gonna start off with Eirik. What are you wishing to find?
Oh boy. Something that hang on.
Okay, then I guess we're gonna go to it in a minute. Then Fiera, I presume, definitely knows what she's looking for.
Oof, yeah, I don't even know if this will be here. Yeah, pretty much the practice of blood magic and, potentially how to combat it or how to counteract it.
Okay,
Yep.
then roll me a d20.
Yeah. Ooh, 16.
16. Okay, I will keep this in mind. Then we go to Isolel.
Yep. So I would be looking for legends stories or anything that has to do with a blood moon or the coming of a blood moon.
Okay. Make a say d20 roll as well.
Yep,
14. Very good.
not bad, not bad.
Yes. Arya.
I'd be looking for like any case files or arrest records or anything like that of Calyx.
Okay. Then also roll
I
a
feel like there's got to be something like that in this library.
roll a d20. 13. It's just slowly getting worse. Iwick.
Anything that has to do with memory loss, memory control, or alternate realities.
Yeah, okay. Also roll a d20. Will it be above a 10? Keeps the streak going.
Hang on, I don't know why my thing doesn't.
Doo-doo.
There.
19. He's got the highest. All right. Then we're gonna start off with Fiera because she was the first.
Oh, actually, since Indel's with me, can I have him look into something?
Yeah, sure, of course. That's what he said.
So since you're studying under me, I need you to learn to better defend yourself. Why don't you find a book about combat tactics, fighting, strategy?
Well, you know what? I'm
You
actually
can
excited.
read, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. What languages do you know?
I know Common. I know
Mhm.
Elvish.
Oh, good.
And I know Thieves Talk.
No idea what that is, but
I
I'll
just
be-
say howdy ho to Endel.
And he says, "Howdy ho, howdy how," which is the official response to "howdy ho" is "ho howdy."
Mm.
See, she knows.
Sure. Yeah, find something interesting. Or there's probably a history of some knight as well. You can see his exploits and how he deals with duels and such.
Wait, who? Cadix?
No, like a knight.
Oh, a knight.
Yeah. Have you heard about traveling knights that duel for their honor and
Yeah.
yada yada?
Yeah, read very many fairy tales with that. End up,
Perfect.
slaying a dragon.
I mean, if you can learn how to slay a dragon, I won't say no.
I mean, they don't exist anymore, so be pretty useless.
Everything exists always at all times.
So that means there also exists a reality where I already read those books, so I don't have to read them anymore.
You are learning, but this isn't that reality.
Fair play, fair play. And then he goes off. And I should.
Perfect.
Well, that's not a hard book to find, so I won't even roll for him.
Oh, good. Yeah.
He will just have a.
That's like the bestseller.
Yeah,
shelf.
just goes to the best
Yeah.
shelf and then just starts reading them. Probably a lot of people in recent times are learning how to fight, so it's pretty
Yeah.
commonplace. Okay, Fiera looking for blood magic specifically.
Mhm.
You would find, you know what? You can roll me a d4.
Oh boy. What do I want? 1 or 4?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
It depends which book you get.
There's one.
There's one. Okay. After a while looking around, there are very many big books about, the each specific school of magic, evocation, abjuration, illusion, enchantment, all that stuff, and a plethora of empirical studies and noted magical enchantments that I've made in the past, and even present developments are even kind of situated here, but not a lot about blood magic. However, at some point, as you kind of browsing through, the page where does come to you, gives you a book, which is a somewhat not super heavy tome. It's kind of, mid-range, maybe it's like 300 pages or something like that, not like the big fat pages with like several thousand pages. But he says that there is a notation sort of here that does mention at least blood magic in a degree, and you haven't found any books yet that have mentioned blood magic, and this is the first notation of it. And so you can see that the title of this is Curses and Their Roots.
Perfect.
Okay, so obviously as you're reading, a bit of time will lapse, since reading a book takes time, but obviously we're presuming that you're kind of skimming over them. And this is kind of the overview as you're kind of reading over this book. Like I said, Curses and the Roots, and it's basically a compilation of different curses and their nature and how they affect things. And it states that curses are mostly permanent magical effects inflicted on a target to suppress certain attributes or to invoke a negative effect on a target, often done by binding a certain magical pattern into a creature so that the effect gets carried with them. Usual enchantments, when you do a pattern and it isn't connected or kind of tied to something, if you just leave the area, as you know with the famous moonbeam, you aren't affected by the actual magic itself. So it has to be specifically tied to it. And since if you're cursing a specific person, you obviously want the curse to stay with them, so that is a very important part of it. The pattern in this instance can either appear in a physical and thusly visible form, like a curse mark, which binds the magical pattern to the physical and thus also magical body of the target, or it can be a pure magical pattern, one which has no physical trace whatsoever. But these types of curses tend to be either a bit weaker or only temporary, since they don't have a strong anchor. That's very important. Magical anchors is also the reason why you draw teleportation runes and circles and stuff like that, why you have to do several components to curse something, because they always, or most powerful spells, need their anchor to whatever you want to cast it to kind of have a catalyst to invoke the spell itself. Another way to create a strong anchor and thusly a strong curse is similarity. So having a component in your curse that is from the target creature, or at least very similar, will have a greater chance of success and durability. When cursing a target, one tries to aim for something that isn't prone to change, which is why the skin is often the place where curse mark appears, since that is an area of the body that only changes slowly, allowing the curse mark to adapt and reform. That is also a reason why most curses target, or at least try to target, the soul of a creature, since that is the one thing that doesn't change at all unless magic is utilized to change the soul. But that is obviously extremely high potent curse spells. Some of the greatest curses known to date are those that inflict one's mind in a permanent manner, that invoke things a creature wouldn't usually do, make someone more violent, suicide, stuff like that. Many curses are deeply tied to necromancy or enchantment, but the most powerful curses are those invoked with the strength of blood magic. That is because of the innate nature of blood and its connection to a creature, which creates a connection that is stronger than any other, because that is one of the strongest anchors that you can create with a physical body. History has proven this, as in the days of blood magic, a powerful blood mage by the name of Xerxes Kiveth in the year 2812. Nope, that's wrong. 2892. I don't know how I got that wrong. Has cursed an entire townsfolk with the blood curse, and its ripples are still visible today. as some of the ancestors who held the curse inherited to the next generation. The curse he released is known as the Vilma's Blood Curse. Even to this day, there's no known formal cure to it. There were many other curses which were used, and most of them also didn't have a cure or could be removed, resulting in a lot of death. A blood curse is tied to one's blood, so even if a marking has been taken off, as long as the creature who has been cursed still has blood, it will be there, which is why it's so potent and dangerous, and it's used banned globally by the Holy Lichniers. The only people who are allowed to use it, who also has the ability to get rid of a blood curse, is a sect of holy people in the Holy Lichniers Order, the Order of the Holy Blood. However, they aren't allowed to interact with the public. For the reason why they are allowed to use it is because they have pure blood, and any interaction with the outside world would tarnish it. Though their miracles are known, and it is said that they can replace one's blood, the entirety of one's blood, and will remove with it a blood curse, they aren't allowed to use it on anyone. And that's kind of the entire gist of that.
So we just found Tila's cure, but is it even feasible? That's the question.
Ooh, that's a good question. Also, how they do it is a good question. Yeah, I will ponder over this.
Yep.
So.
Next is Isara. You were looking for the coming or stories of a blood moon.
Yes.
You read through several books. You get the first few books you get, and that the page boy gives you in kind of more like probably just so you have something at least, are your usual stories, fantasy stories of authors that just wrote about, you know, the idea of a blood moon being cool, and it's pure fiction. It isn't, you know, anything based on reality. And as you kind of progress in your investigation, there aren't any official documentations of any blood moons having appeared or existed ever. Even there's no scientific notion that such a thing could or will happen. And the idea is completely absent in the scientific field. You only have one moon that you know of, that you also know of, known as Iras. IRAS. You, but however, do know from your mentor that the moon has been growing weaker. Now,
Yes.
if that is connected to a blood moon is completely speculative on your part, obviously, but there is no link to any blood moon, and there's no documentation, or at least no official documentations of a blood moon having occurred in at least the accounts that you have. The earliest documentations that you can find are not super old. They're like the date currently is like 3592 PE, but the earliest documentations that you can find are like from like 1500 PE. Anything beyond that is, you know, so you're working with a limited time field as well. It could have happened before then, but if it did, you don't have any notations.
Right. So yeah, I would kind of ponder on that and try to remember what my mentor had mentioned about the moon and all that, while the others are continuing their research.
Okay. Arya, you want it?
I was looking for like case files or arrest records or anything about Calyx that I could find.
Yes, arrest records of Calyx. Yeah, it's not necessarily like a case file, but it's of like a documentation of him. It's kind of like a sort of like a biography of like famous criminals. Obviously, he's the quote-unquote most famous criminal to ever exist, so he definitely has a file on him, packed into a file called the Ever Damned, and in it says, obviously, the most famous criminal responsible for the deaths of probably more than 10,000 of people, if all accounts of him are true. Only a handful of people who have ever encountered him have survived, and he is seemingly unkillable as far as anyone knows. They have attempted all methods and also found out by doing that he's completely unaffected by any sort of modern magic. His origins is unknown. The first documentation of him was in the year 3112 at the Isthmus Crossing, which is at the border of Azathia and Collis. A large group of people that were trying to move from Collis to Azathia were reported missing and then later discovered dead on the shores of Collis. When people were sent to investigate, they told authorities that they witnessed a long, skinny grey man standing in the middle of a pool of blood. However, the people who saw him were somehow marked with an engraving on their lower right arm. And this is something that has been consistent throughout Calix's history, which is every single person who has seen him either died or was marked. It's also documented that all people who have been marked would suffer tremendous losses. Tremendous losses in the sense that they either lost family members, or if they were rich, they went poor, stuff like that, over the course of their lives. And many odd experiences have also been documented involving the sudden absence of children or memory, as well as people suddenly being able to do or see things they weren't able to before. Many of these people who survived long periods of time after they got the mark would unfortunately act in sudden manic behaviors such as murder, weird ramblings, and even suicide. Calix would kind of terrorize the area of the border for many years, terrorize in the sense that his intentions were never sure. He was just there and no one was able to observe what he was doing. Only thing you do know is anyone who kind of went too close just died. And many people who ignorantly chose to use the crossing would fall victim to Calix or his mark, which would be known as the Death Touch mark, which is why he's known as the Death Touch pagan. Even important political people would fall victim, as diplomats from Azathia used the crossing for faster travel, came into contact with them, and as such met the demise. That's a story that Iserel told you. But of course, the most famous incident of Calix was his sudden surrender, when he let himself be captured and put himself into a dungeon that was built for him by the throne of Collis. This happened around 3209 PE, and during his time there, the authorities of Collis would use any method in the arsenal to rid themselves from the menace. However, any execution attempt made were met with failure, mostly because no living being is able to go close to him without perishing, and most forms of materials corrode before it's even able to touch his skin, and most notably his invulnerability towards magic or magic effects. It was then later theorized that he maybe gained life force from the blood that he consumed from the victims he killed, so they hoped to starve him to death. As such, the throne kind of abandoned the methods of actively killing him and instead went on to try and keep him restrained, so that if a day would potentially come where he wanted to escape, he couldn't. So there obviously was still the problem that no material could be used to restrain him, and such they didn't have any to chain him down, but you did see him with chains. Calix would help them with this task. He personally enchanted chains that were then able to withstand his own presence, and also a box which he created, where he also wished to stay and be chained inside of. The throne did not disagree with this idea and let him do that, and he has been inside of the box ever since. Obviously, you now know.
How long has he been inside the box?
Since 3209, now 3592, so that's like over 380 years, so 383 years he has been inside of that box. No food, no drink, nothing, and that's obviously the attempt to starve him has not worked, which obviously you can then ascertain that maybe the theory of him gaining his power by consuming blood isn't completely true. unless he was supplied with blood during his time inside of the box. That's kind of your intuition just, rumbling through your head. And finally, as you're kind of reading that, Eirik, you were searching for
Memory loss, memory alteration, or alternate reality.
alternate reality, and you got a 19. Yeah, quite difficult topic, but you do find a lot of, especially in the enchantment area, there are spells created to replace one's memory. You think back to the Inquisition member who has mentioned that, so that is not a common form of magic, but that is one which most mages could attain in a lifetime. So it isn't like a super rare occasion, or it's not unnoticeable. However, you would also know the cure for it. A remove curse spell would remove the effect if you have been kind of suffering from a memory displacement. So you would know about that. And kind of delving deeper into maybe alternate realities, you do then stumble upon one book that deals with the shadow weave, and that it's kind of highly theorized that it's like a kind of documentation of several scholarly theories on what the magic weave actually is, and it just kind of states that similar to how a shadow casted on the floor only is the outline of a silhouette, but the silhouette could literally be anything as long as it fits inside, and that's kind of the equivalent of it. So as long as the silhouette fits, anything could be happening inside of there. And you would know that their most prestigiae, which was a school of shadowmancers, ancient school of shadowmancers back in the days, or documentations about this arcane craft were mainly found in collars. And there are active practitioners of shadowmancy, and that's why people know about this there, that are currently in war with the throne, known as the Bottom War, which has been kind of in a kind of still stand for a couple of years now, and further developments are unknown because the Order Throne has kind of closed it. Which is why you would also know Collis is a very... They use a lot of slaves, and most of the slaves are war criminals that were taken from the people that they fought against. And with 19 you would know that they are fighting... They started a project called the Core Reach Mines, which is the main mines inside of Collis, that just wanted to dig as deep as they could, with the goal of finding more rare materials and maybe other stuff. And during this, they stumbled upon a society of people who were underground for the entirety of the time. Speculations of that those are people that went underground during the Age of Darkness and just never returned. And that is where the Deep Gnomes and Durga come from, and also a other race known as the Shadakai, which are similar to Drow but different. And upon having come into contact with them, that is where the war started between the Order Throne and then this other society. And it seems like that this society specifically uses shadowmancy to defend themselves and to attack, obviously. That is what you get.
Oh boy.
We're screwed.
Problems everywhere. Shocker. So are we all huddled together in this booth, I assume?
Yep, I would
Going,
assume.
oh my god, at all the pages we're reading.
Presumably, yes.
So as I'm scribbling notes kind of in my own work notebook, I'll speak up to you all and say, so, shocker, this is a blood curse, and blood curses are the most powerful that have ever been documented so far. Now, one way we could rid of it, um, which maybe is a backup plan, we could actually head back to my home, as there is a specific order that gets rid of blood curses. It would probably be extremely difficult to gain favor enough or enough pull for me to do that, but it probably is possible. More likely, I think there probably is a method here in Azathia, as there are very high arcane practitioners. Perhaps even in town.
Well, I found out Calyx is indestructible. He's been starved for 383 years and he's still living. He made his own prison because nothing can touch him without disintegrating.
Perfect. I have thought about that a little bit. I think even he would have a hard time standing enough time. Maybe one day I can do something.
I was a little less fruitful in my research. There's nothing about there's nothing real about a blood moon or the coming of a blood moon or anything like that. Like everything that I've read were more like authors using it as a fantasy plot in a novel. However, I can what I can tell you is that our moon is slowly dying. And I know this, and I've seen it. I've seen it like dimming over the course of my mentorship. My mentor has shown me. I don't know if the moon dying would end in a blood moon. I don't know how long that would take. I don't know how much time the moon has left. Being a druid of the moon, obviously, by restoring the weave, I am hopeful that it would help the moon. But, I mean, I have nothing else than that, other than just, is it related or not? Who knows? There's literally nothing about that. Just what we as druids have observed over the last centuries.
Yeah. So Jack, there is an angel, Serial of the waning moon. Do I know what she like stands for, or what like the waning moon pertains to?
You can make a history check. Or religion, sorry. That's the other skill that
That would
never
make more
gets
sense,
used,
yeah. Sure. Why not?
Holy shit. I mean, you're the richest guy that
It's yeah. That's I don't know anything. Yeah.
yeah, there isn't like super much lore surrounding the angels themselves, obviously, because they are supposed to be like, you know, otherworldly, the kind of higher beings that you should strive to be towards, so they cannot be, you know, manifested or grounded into simple you know, notions of human thinking, or at least that is what's said. They have only been attributed with certain like concepts, you know, like faith, pride, and waning moon doesn't in this instance isn't like referring to the moon itself, but during the nights when, you know, the moon starts to disappear in the sky because of, how it's being projected by the sun. It always gets less and less, and it's this process of the moon kind of disappearing. This concept, this very specific concept, is attributed to the angel. And it is a kind of sense, what it's trying to convey is a certain sense of security that even though the night may be darker without the moonlight, you still know this is cause of an angel and nothing demonic. So it's more like, attributing a
Right.
effect that people don't understand quite well to an angelic figure to ease the people's minds. Same reason why, for example, the angel of anger exists, is to kind of say, oh, anger isn't like something innately bad, belongs to an angel, and it's, to keep people in check and stuff like that. So, yeah, that is the main faith spectrum around the
Gotcha.
angel of waning moon.
Whew, okay.
With a natural 20, though, one other thing I will say is, as you're kind of thinking back on, the 20 angels and the 4 archangels, there is no specific documentation whatsoever of them interacting with people.
Right.
And also that's kind of why you intrinsically think why these very abstract notions have in place there, to kind of inadvertently like prove their existence even though it hasn't changed anything. In a sense, like, oh, anger exists, so Af exists. The moon disappears, which means Azazel exists. Not Azazel, Ananiel? Which one was it again?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the what you would get. Similar how, how the how Zamshiel exists, similar vein, Angel of the Eclipse, same thing with the moon. To kind of explain why the sun gets covered by the moon. Like, isn't that seen as something unholy? Why would the moon cover the thing that grants us faith, which is the sun? But it just says that's one show of one angel specifically.
Okay. So, I would like to get rid of all the marks we have. That will take a considerable amount of effort, though. And I think we need to find help in someone, well, much more skilled than myself in this field, that can help us remove a curse.
You might call me crazy, but what if we lean into the calyx thing?
You're crazy. And there's this.
Who are you and what have you done with Eirik?
No, I don't. That's. I mean, don't say that given the circumstances, because that's just triggering. I am me. Remember?
But are you?
That's true. If this calyx can alter reality, maybe he brought a different Eirik here.
I mean, that's a little bit more complex than I was getting at. I'm just thinking about, like, since we've already interacted with him and you know that we weren't supposed to interact with him, what if we just keep interacting with him purposely? Like, is that a thing that might, like, if we go deeper, will it less? I don't know.
See,
That would be a fast track to our death. Certain death.
Right.
I
Okay.
think he's the type to take liberties when he can, and when he can't, that's when he pokes at something dear to you.
Right. So, on the other hand, what do we think about the name Aiden?
He's gone mad. He's gone mad. Fiora, he's gone mad.
What? If I don't exist,
Oh, you want to change your name?
well, I mean, it's frankly that seems like the easiest thing to do.
But why do you want to change your name?
We, I just petitioned to have RX Banner added back on the high planes, and now you want to change your name?
Yeah.
No. I didn't say I want to. But you're right. I completely forgot about that.
And like,
Also, you might want to think of like a brand name, because you want to grow your brand, right? To be famous, and everybody knows. Oh, this is X's, wrench, rake, ladder. I don't know what you like to build.
He's Heelys.
oh,
You haven't seen those yet. I haven't used them.
No, but you've talked about them when I'm here.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand what you're trying to say, though. It is kind of an opportunity for you to kind of start fresh. But we know you as you.
Yeah. Like if it like wouldn't change anything if you like would change your name, what? Because like your name is already like erased. So how would a new name change anything, if you know what I'm saying? Like isn't that like only helpful if your name wasn't erased and you wish to change and not be associated with a name that hasn't been erased?
yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
I'm really curious. Have you talked to your parents?
Me?
Did they live here? No, I think we talked about this before. They're not.
No, I have no idea where they are.
I may have to go find them.
They used to live here. Last time I saw them, we were in Yeshiman in.
Oh, that is far.
Yes, very far. I forget what the city is called.
Norkan.
Thank you.
Your
That
pleasure.
is, I think, really far.
Okay, I can bring you to the continent tomorrow if you wish to gauge how far it is.
You guys are like
Yeah,
glitching out.
okay.
Uh-oh.
Wait, what?
Discord, why?
Oh, dang. Can anyone hear me?
Why,
I can hear you.
why is everybody glitching out?
Oh no.
Okay, I guess this is a great point to take a quick break.
All right.
She is glitching out.
Eh,
And we'll be right back if that fixes, and also have to take a piss, so that's good. Okay, see you in a minute. Bye.
I'm hearing like every other word Jack's saying.
We are back. And y'all are still in the library, you're still in your private booth. However, the typical you do here.
I will answer the door.
Go to the door. And you see Xenophor, the Ministers of Defense, standing there. And as you now see for the first time, her arm, one of her arms is missing, and her left eye as well. Kind of just looks a bit very stressed. And it's like, so you have a code for me?
Yes, I'm really excited to see you, first of all. I don't have any questions for you, but we have more pressing matters to attend to.
Right. And she just kind of steps inside of the room, closes the door, and then just kind of stands into one corner.
You probably want to take a seat.
Alright. Endo kind of looks at you, Fiora. And it's like,
Yeah, get up.
alright.
You'll be fine.
Kind of stands up. And she kind of takes
Poor
a seat.
guy.
And then sits down. Alright. I am ready.
So, did the person that told you that we were that we needed to speak with you fill you in on anything?
Yes, most of the details with Calyx and all of that I have heard. And the peculiar case with your friend here. Kind of just shows to Eirik.
Do you know my name?
Yeah, I have just heard it, of course. I presume you are Eirik.
Okay. But I'm familiar to you. You've seen me before, right?
Before today?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Add another one to the list.
All right. Let me reintroduce you to Eirik Spanner, who has been our companion for the past few days.
My head is in my
That-
hands like this, and I just reach out my hand to shake.
Everybody seems to have forgotten who he is.
Alright, yes, that I have heard. That select individuals have forgotten his name, his presence.
His whole existence seems to have completely disappeared.
Right, and your all under the belief that this has something to do with Calyx, am I correct?
We're
A
certain
blood
that it
curse to be, yeah.
Right.
Have you heard what happened at the arena?
Yeah, so we've got many formal complaints, which is ironic. Well, I won't stress too much over it. I won't have to deal with it after tomorrow, but I somewhat I didn't not necessarily know this specifically was coming, but the arena event was planned, several months in advance, obviously. And when they introduced the idea, I obviously declined. This is a severe breach to any safety precautions we could have inside of the city. But there were several members, even in the Chamber of Dukes, who kind of wished for it to happen and said that it would boost morale and all of that stuff and tie our connections with Collis better if it did happen. And so they kind of overrid my judgment and then just accepted the offer from Collis.
Makes sense.
There is a question that comes to mind, though. Who believed it was a good idea to pin regular mortals against a guy that had to turn himself in to be caught? Because anyone that comes in his presence is either dead or completely insane.
also that created his own prison.
Yeah, also.
You're asking truly the wrong person. Like I said, immediately knew this was a completely bad idea. I only know what they're advertised for, and they said they weren't able to kill him by any known means to them, so they would wish to try foreign shores, and I'm pretty sure that they would try and attempt it some other time somewhere else.
Oh, so he gets to curse even more people. Lovely.
Yes, I believe so, but
That sounds like he probably did that on purpose to have an easier access to people. To a larger amount of people.
I don't know if this was his idea, but it seems like the throne was. kind of in the same position with the idea, so that's kind of why it was a hard political push from Colossus' side. It's, I don't know. A lot of stuff has been going on in the recent days, and then this just added up to it. And yeah, slowly getting tired of it, but I think I will have my own way after tomorrow.
So we've been searching the archives and we found some different things. One being that what we have been cursed to is pretty much death sentencing. Dr. Fier said that she found something, and there's people in Canaan that can help. Do you know?
Potentially.
Is there anyone on our side of the border that can help that you might know?
Is there blood curse?
Yes.
I just know that the supervision of such magical practices is very tight. Like, we keep our eyes on anyone who tries to attempt to do such a thing, and then we immediately arrest them. Part of the Nicene Creed, obviously. The Holy Legion just doesn't want other people to practice this kind of magic, since I presume you have learned of the days of the Crimson Lotus.
Did any of us see that in their research?
No? That sounds like
so.
interesting information.
Oh, no, it's just a time period, so kind of the period between the Age of Chaos and then the Age of Revelations, where blood magic was first discovered, and then people used to experiment around it, and then after an entire village got cursed by a famous mage, it was officially banned then, after that occurred, and that's why the regulations are so strongly patrolled right now.
Would
Was
that
it by
time...
Xerxes?
Yes, Xerxes Kibis. That's I think that's the name of the mage who's done that. You know, I should write his name actually. Now that I think about it.
Wild guess I didn't spell right.
Sure. If we mention a blood moon, does that ring a bell to you? I tried to look into it because that's what Calyx keeps rambling about. But all I found were like fantasy novels and stuff like that.
Blood Moon? No, not really. Not as far as I'm presuming, like you said, probably something official or scientific. On that lines, no. Never heard of such a thing before. But Calyx mentioned it. Oh.
Yes.
He believes he's waiting for it, and it hasn't come yet. So he'll keep waiting. It could be a day, a month, year, 100
Another
years.
100 years?
Exactly.
Right.
I think the main point is we're trying to rid ourselves of the effect he put us under, and find a way to rid others if they come to us for help.
Hmm.
As there's
Especially
probably
with-
going to be a rise of bizarre things happening in the next couple days.
Oh, I think even without Calyx here, some bizarre stuff is going to happen the next couple of days anyways, but this just comes of add to it. I mean, you already have connections with the mage from the main college, right, Fiera?
I've been talking to Telding. He's someone who studies all fields, so perhaps he may have a method.
Yes. I don't think we have any methods to get rid of it. We have people inside of our country who are inflicted with, you know, the blood curse. The most famous one, like I said, from Xerxes, the Vilma's blood curse, obviously. And assuming that this blood curse, the Vilma's blood curse, is weaker than the one you currently have, I don't believe any resources we have currently available will be able to help you unless you find something specifically for it. Well, this is actually a good point of order since not many people have this. Like, what are the effects other than me not remembering your friend?
We can see Calyx and interact with them. He tries to make deals with us. My family may no longer know who I am because
Or just not exist. We don't know the extent of what.
I was asked, he threatened our family. Long story short, said I'd rather not be a part of their family if it meant saving them. So I don't know how that'll turn out.
He's like a magical dark dealer.
Doesn't seem like you're getting much in return.
No.
He finds the right buttons to push to get us to ask for things for, like, from what I'm gathering.
Yeah, he seems to like to put people in very uncomfortable and disheartening positions so that they make harsh decisions without really having the time to think.
I fear that things are going to get worse. Dr. Fiera said something, or you read something that says, or you told us, or something, I don't remember exactly what, but if you interact with it, it can get worse.
Yes, essentially you can ignore it if you know what's happening, but most people from the arena won't know what to ignore. And like we've mentioned, he knows what buttons to push, as he's become tied to our blood and our mind and our memory.
So we can expect probably a lot of petty neighbor quarrels to end in blood. But since there were nobles and higher influence people also present at the time, we could see some bloodshed in the higher ups, in the nobility. We could see or not see people. It could already have happened where some people are no longer existing or in positions that they never were before, or things like that.
I fear that the missing chrysalis and the war are very minor compared to what is about to happen.
This is very troublesome, but I don't think that kind of shadows a war, since our entire realm will be at risk if that occurs. Which actually... brings me to my point. If, and that if is now very fastly turning into a most definitely. Like I said, as you know, I am being replaced. Well, I stepped down, obviously. And I would have hoped that a former member in the Inquisition would take my position, but this will not be the case. They are now putting a official from the Kriegsherren, which you know, Kriegsherren is the name of one of the 7 dynasty families and the one that controls the military of Azathia.
That is risky. Why is no one from the Inquisition stepping up?
We are trying, but we don't have any say what the Chamber of Dukes are saying, and with the developments that are going further, with the Chrysalis and everything as such, Colossus has made very large political pressures in Corvallis in recent times, and it seems like the Dukes of Zona Nier will kind of are buckling under the pressure that have been put onto them, and I fear that in due time the pact will be signed. As my maybe last recommendation as Ministers of Defense and for the safety of the people, I would maybe advise you to evacuate the city as soon as you can.
I've been recommended to leave soon as well.
It's not the first time I've had to evacuate a city.
Alright.
Well, it might be time to go home then, Arya.
Oh, and we can move Indel's sister to a much safer place.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to leave her here when I've got them war starting.
Oh, obviously not. Like I said, your sister will always be welcome in my home. In Corvallis, at least until things settle down.
I fear going home for me will not be a good thing. I'm also worried about bringing what we have closer to home.
Yes, that's also a suggestion, or at least something you should keep in mind. The lieutenant that has advised me of the things and who you talk to, the Inquisition member, we don't know if you can affect other people. And it seems like Eirik, right, one of your friends died. And your families have been threatened. So obviously, in any way you interact can impact the lives of other people. Which also means I'm obviously being placed in great danger since now I'm part of the influence. I don't think it'd be the best idea to go to the people, well, you care most about. At least not if you figured out what the proper conditions are that have been placed upon your curse, whatever it is.
So where should we go then?
Are there other libraries that might have more information in our archives that we could dive into and research?
We could go to my school.
Yes, I mean the biggest collection of books in the entire continent is in the Zephygus archives. If it's really research that you're after, that is definitely a location that you can seek after. I would like to have you somewhat close by, just because I'm stepping down as Ministers of Defense, and I think it may be a good time to introduce someone new. As I said, Arya, one of my members I've been working closely with, was bound to make an appearance. Herod Steinbrecher. If you could come inside, please. And then the door opens. And then stepping inside, you see a rather tall, dexterously built drow. Kind of now shorter, white hair, very grey, pale blue skin. Seems to be aged quite a lot and has quite a few scars on his face that just kind of go all over, particularly from the top right all the way down to his left eye, and then one going from the top left of his mouth all the way down to his bottom right chin as he kind of steps inside. He says,
Greetings. Nice to meet you all. My name is Harold Steinbrecher.
and he just kind of stands next to Zinafor and then obviously closes the door again. Yes, I see you are involved in quite dire circumstances. However, I believe that there's more going on to this. Obviously there is, but as we have been running in circles, it seems like, and whatever we do, we aren't able to change the outcomes of certain things, since the higher ups have been kind of placing their stones for a while now. I have decided to kind of join Harold Steinbrecher. He's been undercover for quite some time now. He has left the Inquisition, as will I, and I wish to inform you, since you don't have any official affiliations with anyone, I will take this leap and trying to trust you, and I would hope that you do not tell anyone of this.
Of course not.
I am seemingly stepping down, but I will continue my investigations further just without the influence of any higher-ups, because as I found, anything I've informed them, probably some leech somewhere in the high society would get a hold of it, and then they could plan 2 steps ahead of time, and I could do nothing about it. Which is why I contacted Harold Steinbrecher in the first place, and, well, I would just let him say the rest.
Which is also why I'm anxious, because I don't trust anyone.
Yes, that is a good intuition to have. Well, first of all, my name is Harold Steinbrecher. I've been now working deeply for the last 5 years inside of Tellus specifically. I've been trying to tie in the contacts and the connections that have been made between Tellus and Azathia. It kind of surfaced 5 years ago. One of the other Inquisition members found a letter that told about a high society member leaking information to the higher-ups of Tellus. I've been following this trail ever since. Unfortunately, I haven't heard from him after 5 years. So, whether the members got to him or he has gone under hiding, I unfortunately don't know. But I've been continuing my work onwards, and I need a bit more informants inside of the more urban areas of Azathia to know which kind of people are involved, and I'm hoping that you may have more information about that.
I don't have... Gosh dang it, you just made me lose my train of thought, Skit. Oh my gosh.
I guess before we continue, can I put myself at ease and make sure we're not being watched or someone here isn't who they say they are?
Yeah, I mean, I won't blame you for having suspicions, sure.
Then I'll kind of just fix my glasses and cast Detect Magic. And just look around for any sensors or illusion magic under people.
Yeah, do detect magic. There are no floating bobs or silhouettes indicating there's no invisible persons out here. You do gain a few magical things off of Herald Steinbrecher and Xenophor. Obviously, they're probably equipped with magical items, as you would assume, and then all the usual stuff you would expect from your teammates. But nothing out of the ordinary.
Could we fill our watchers in on why we're all laughing?
Sure, if you wish to do so.
Oh my gosh. The contact is currently laying in the ocean following a certain TPK that happened.
The missing
Not too long
contact
ago.
was my character from our first campaign.
So we're going full circle right now and kind of laughing.
Or Harold.
Yeah, poor
Or Sapphire's call.
Rip.
Oh,
It's too early to it. No, it's
Rest
been
in
half a
peace.
year. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. I already forgot his name. Oh, no, Vertaui. Yes, that was his name.
yep.
I lied. I didn't
Wow.
forget.
Don't do that to me.
Let's see. I've only been here for a few days. And yes, the city is not anything I was expecting. The uppers are much more corrupt than I expected, as they... Yeah, it's been shocking.
Yes, it's quite unfortunate to say that the high society of Azathia is entirely bereft of any sort of, well, justice. Corruption has been starting to show its faces over the past couple of months. You are, and excuse me if I say this, you are Fiera Kron, am I right?
Yes.
Well, I apologize for your father's death. I think I was one of the last persons to have spoken to him.
Well, then perhaps you can fill me in.
Well, that is, I think, to happen anyways. If you didn't know, there's a underground organization operating in Telos known as the Dark Resistance. And they have been largely controlling most of the things happening there. And it seems like as I got involved and your father, who went to Narbor, now the official capital of Telos, to gain some diplomatic means between Telos and Canaan, unfortunately got, well, brutally assassinated and displayed towards the people. And I've been, well, trying to figure out the exact motives of the Dark Resistance, which I think I am believing to understand to a certain degree.
Well, that confirms everything I've learned as well. You're saying their influence reaches this far? Not just in Telos?
I'm pretty sure they have influences everywhere. We've been following trades that even went to Yeshimon in Orkan. We have found trade going all the way to Collis, to Chaldean and Valhall. There have been several documentations to multiple of the capitals of Azathia. I do not know how strong these influences are, but they definitely have contacts in these areas. So it's kind of hard to follow their leads. They seem to be very well spread. And I'm also quite confident that they have their hands inside of Canaan.
Are these influences strong enough to assassinate the king of Yeshuman?
I definitely wouldn't deny it. A most definite possibility that exists. However, they operate in sister groups, and therefore different names. So that's why it's kind of difficult to keep track of them. They're known as an umbrella corporation inside of Tellus as the Dark Resistance, but their names vary throughout the lands. So, just because someone introduces themselves with a different name, they still might be able to be a part of the Dark Resistance. And most people unfortunately don't know that.
Do you know the name they go by in Azathia? That may help our memories quite a bit.
I'm quite confident that it's not necessarily the direct group that is working with them or is under the Dark Resistance, but has contacted them several of times, and I believe that is also where the note came from that my contact found, is a group called the Truth Seeker Fellowship. They have been working with the Dark Resistance, or at least have some exchange.
Does that name like ring a bell to Arya?
You can make a history check.
Matt, you sneaky little sneakster.
I haven't said anything.
Not yet, at least.
Like Fiera's poker faced. Not me.
I know, but Skit is putting 2 and 2 together right now.
21.
sees nothing.
Truth Seeker Fellowship. No, you was 21. Never heard of them. Name doesn't ring a bell. Isn't a widely renowned group that is, like open. He then continues to say and says,
Yes, well, that's not even the worst of all of this. The worst part comes. We believe that the Truth Seeker Fellowship, their intentions, at least as far as we can gain, as they have made a few expeditions to Tellus, was, well, as their name suggests, trying to find information and research, and they have been trading with the Dark Resistance. Specifically, they are getting a certain substance called the Vanta material, and they have in return allowed people of the Dark Resistance to infiltrate into the high society as an exchange. Now, I've been spending the last 5 years to try and find out what the hell this Vanta material actually is. And I am pretty certain that it's somewhat related to demons.
God damn it.
So many full circles. Oh my gosh.
I'm having trouble focusing. It's just like
I am doing my damn best to keep the first campaign information out of my brain right now.
Oh, I am too. Did you expect this to happen or you'd break all of our brains, Jack?
No, not really. I just thought nice interaction with Harold. That's all I thought.
Good old Harold.
So,
Could that... What they're bringing over, could that be why the demon attacked the High Plains?
I'm not certain. I don't think they have the ability to control demons. Demons still plague Tellus. In fact, it's still the most plagued land from all other countries. So I do not believe they have the control over it, but I do think they have found a way to create demons at least. And I believe this is somehow connected to the materials that I have gathered, and that allows them to, well, create certain demonic entities that then are able to rampage around. There was a certain event which occurred when Mr. Con died, where a lot of people suddenly turned into demons, or at least had a larger tie to demonic activity, and we believe that that might have been incongruent with the Vanta material that they possessed. Fortunately, we still don't know how they managed to do it, but well, they obviously were able to. So, I would love to know if you have any information about either the True Seeker Fellowship, or if you had any contact with any suspicious people who have some underground dealings with maybe some strange material, or you think someone might be involved with the Dark Resistance. That would be extremely helpful, especially I heard you had great connections with the High Society. If anyone there seems oddly suspicious.
I can't think of anyone offhand that...
oh, I can think of someone back home in Corvallis.
Who?
Kronberg.
I forgot about Cromberg.
Kronberg completely turned coat.
And he was asking us to gather information for him.
Yeah. He is in the intel business back in Corvallis. He is one of my father's closest contributors. And he used to be extremely neutral and seeing both sides of signing or not signing the pact. And now he has...
Yeah, didn't he want us to sign it?
He used to say that, like, preventing it was a bad idea, but also signing it was a bad idea, and now he just took a stance and is fighting his way with it. He has eyes and ears everywhere. His organization, like I said, gathers intel.
Yes. I even remember as I was still working in the Inquisition, I had a few interactions with them, and he always seemed a bit odd. Specifically, if I remember correctly, he uses personal hired bodyguards and doesn't use enlisted officials from the military.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he has his...
They made me feel very uncomfortable.
Yes.
So that would be the one, if I had to guess someone that would have had contact with this dark resistance organization that you are speaking of, I would guess that he is the most likely to have had contact with them. Now, whether he works with them, against them, or ignores them, I don't know. Because apparently I don't know him at all. I thought I knew him. I grew up with this man in my house. But he is the most likely to know who they are. Yeah, I would definitely try to maybe have a chat with him or investigate him.
Well, actually, I would maybe ask if it's something you or might be able to do. Like I said, my main operation points will be inside of Tellus and see if there's any connections there. I might have to look at any trade routes that he has been involved with, or at least Sinafor. You can maybe take care of operations here. And she kind of just nods. Yes, I think I will take care of that. I think these fine individuals trying to make your way to the library, or you haven't decided yet?
It's an idea, but I know we talked about, being anxious to take our stuff home, but I feel like Kronberg might open up more to Izarel. She might be able to get more information from him rather than just somebody he's not as close to.
Well, it's a question if he trusts her. It seems like he has been fooling her since she was a child. What stops her from continuing fooling her? And it seems like there might be some tension between him and your father if their opinions have now started to split. So I would...
It is very possible indeed. I know my father spoke of the situation at home being kind of dire, but I haven't. There was so much going on at the time. There was a demon attack and everything. So I haven't had the time to really get a sense of what is happening at home to the full extent. But I know that currently my father and Kronberg are on the opposite ends of the deal of the pact. So yeah, I don't think that I would be the best person to talk to Kronberg right now.
Fair.
Yes, I think in these times, high political stakes on the table, and if you're politically involved yourselves, they will automatically be distrustful. I think it's just more efficient to go undercover. And
Unfortunately, yeah. As much as I wish I could say that I can trust this man and the information that he would give me, if I was to talk to him right now, I would have to doubt every single word that comes out of his mouth.
yes. Right. And anyone else besides Duke Kronberg? Specifically, maybe inside of Zuna and Nia is what I need, since it seems like the largest connections are with the city, and most of the events taking place also occur inside of the city. I'm believing that... Yes?
I'm struggling to think of anyone. Like, I haven't interacted with the whole lot of the nobility.
Endel, you were active in the underground. is there anyone that would come to mind to you?
I mean, like literally everyone, I guess. It's underground. Well, the in the new Wyvern, there's a lot of thieves. I mean, they can do thief stuff.
Um,
The Dark Port shares the same first word as the organization.
do we think that the one who should not be mentioned and does not want to be acknowledged could be
Oh, her.
involved in things? Yeah, her.
No, from what I gathered from our meeting, they want to remain neutral and want to just protect their own space. They don't care to expand or to attack or do underhanded things. Unless it's just to protect themselves.
Did anyone... Because you were in the boxes, you paid for the expensive stuff. Was there anyone there that seemed like not as surprised by the events that happened? Or that could be?
I mean, from what I could tell, it was planned, and they knew that Calyx was going to make a grandiose appearance in effect. Well, those from Colas obviously knew what was going to happen, as they were up there as well. I did not get a chance to talk to him, as he was kind of not might type. And I mainly spent most of my time talking to a fellow arcanist, who I should check in with eventually. That's a good point.
Well, there are a lot of curious minds in this day and age, and they are willing to take the dark path to get what they want. And I believe many of the mages nowadays are dissatisfied with the resources that they are given, which is why they're turning to other options.
There is the fact that we have been in contact with very higher ups from the Lichnius. And so, well, a light commander talked to us, and we are wearing a ring from the light commander. So I'm guessing that if we were to have been in contact with someone that would be associated to an organization that is trying to operate in the shadows, they would most likely have been avoiding us or actively try to deceive us to maybe not talk to us or whatever. We unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which side you sit in, have been quite a lot. We've been associated quite a lot to the Lichnius in the past couple of days.
For the record, not all of us have that fancy ring.
Right, you don't have one.
Well, these two had to pay for it.
Yes. Yes, this is one of the things that has always been a blank page in my books since I started investigating, is what the Holy Lichnius is thinking about all of this. And while they are literally the biggest players inside all of this, they are at the same time the biggest wild card. And that is
Well,
a big problem.
especially since each region likes to do things their own way.
That is true, but if the Archbishop gives an order, every region will comply. That is something that is been consistent throughout, so just trying to gauge what the Archbishop thinks of all of this. And how much he actually knows is also a big question. Well, if you don't have any more information for me to share, at least give me one lead to work on. Kronberg, it seems like, and there are more affiliations inside of here, which worries me and calms me at the same time. At least confirms that all my digging hasn't been for naught. But kind of leaves a lot of options for you now.
Right, I think we still need to figure out our own path, especially now that we all have the spark that I would love to get rid of. Don't really want a sociopath in my head.
That's how I feel. It's not fun.
Yes, it's an interesting mark you got there. Also believe that the reason why Calyx was put here isn't, well, for pure entertainment's sake. Oh, one warning I should give out is you're probably looking for solutions of whatever blood magic you have been inflicted with, which seems to be a potential weak point in ways of argumentation or persuasion. I will warn you, the Dark Resistance, they have someone in their ranks who uses blood magic. So if anyone ever offers to cure whatever's going on with you, double check. They might be part
Thank you.
of them.
Thank you for the heads up. I would hate to trust someone to be able to remove it and want to change the modify it or make it worse.
Fiera, didn't you mention that your new friend knows someone that can remove the curse for us?
You did. And Arya just kind of like leans forward on the table.
From what he told me, he has the mark as well, and has been... Well, he also knew that Calyx was going to appear, so he looked ahead of time to make sure it wasn't dangerous for him. And he was in contact with an arcanist that he said knew about blood magic and warned him that it wouldn't be dangerous so long as you don't fiddle with it, interact with it.
And this someone who just so happens to know a blood mage is...
The owner of the arena.
the owner of the arena.
Yes, Mr. Erkstein.
kind of looks at you. Make a deception check.
Wait, was that his last name?
No, Oxine is the other mage.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Bauwerk. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
I was his actual. There's a lot of names rattling in my head.
Yeah. Kind of not see you. And he looks at you specifically with a knowing glance. As he kind of lifts up his head and then starts rubbing, and you can see he has like several wings, and you know that one of them did light up magically. As he kind of puts down his hand again. Right. Bauwerk it is. I will leave that up to you, Xenophore. Yes, I shall look into that then. Right, but I think you shouldn't stay here too long. Yes, you're right. Better be going off now. I will leave you with this. Kind of goes into his pocket, grabs something out, places down a small stone with a rune that's carved inside of it. Most of you would easily recognize it as a sending stone. If you find anything out, you can contact me with this. Xenophore also takes one out, also places it on, and one for me as well.
I'm gonna reach out and grab the one that's the minister that's getting ready to leave.
Harold is wants to leave.
So wait, so one's from the soon-to-be Minister of Defense that's leaving, right?
So stepping down.
That's stepping down?
Yes.
So that's the one I'm grabbing.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you can take that, and then there's still the sending stone from Harold.
And if nobody wants that one, I'll take that one too.
Okay. Just quick way to contact any one of us too if you find anything, and then we can also keep you updated in, well, limited means. Admittedly, 25 words isn't a lot, but 25 words can save a life. And I guess those are my last words, at least for today. I pray for you. I always mess up when I want to say success. Pray for your success. And then he just kind of leaves, turns around, and then steps out. Well, your horse seemed to be a bit flustered. Which, well, I apologize for putting you all back into this endeavor, but you're free to do whatever you want. This is just, I don't know, I believe it's the right thing to do.
Are you sure stepping down's the right decision?
I have failed in every conceivable way as the Minister of Defense, and anything I have tried to attempt to do as the Minister of Defense resulted in the worst possible outcome. I do believe I have greater impact on how things turn out if I work undercover. I might be retiring as Minister of Defense, but my work hasn't ended yet. I will not stop until I find the people responsible for this.
Fair. Well, you will be missed.
Well, you'll hear now and again from me, at least 25 words.
At least there's that.
Yes. And she can also stand up. Well, I think you need time to process all of this. Good luck. Turns around and also steps outside.
Well,
So there are people out there that are trying to do good. It's kind of nice to see.
Arya just takes a really deep breath and just sighs. This is a lot to process. I don't feel 100% yet, and there's so much going on in my brain right now.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of things are happening. From what I can tell, in the next couple days, we need to have a clear vision of what we're going to do, as things will be heating up with the new ministress. And since the Earth Chrysalis is still in other hands, it will most likely be used against the Legion. And I have, well, since we're talking about visions, the one I received from Calyx's arena was monsters from Tellus attacking the gate that leads into Canaan.
From Tellus to Canaan, or from
There's a
Azathia to
gate
Canaan?
from Tellus because I recognize the location.
Do
I
you
actually lived quite
think
close.
do you think it's happening right now, or that it could be happening in the future?
I would hope it's in the future. It
Yeah.
would be very hard for me to find out if it's happening now. But if this group wants to attack the Legion in a couple days, which may ignite a war, then they would need allies to attack at the same time.
And with the new ministress being in charge of the army,
Yes.
they could attack from a second location, dividing forces instead. Oh no.
And we don't know what's happening in Colas, but perhaps they're starting to do the same thing.
We need to get out of here. We need to leave the city as quickly as possible.
I'd like to point out that I put that idea on the table about 3 days ago, but
I mean, I've talked about what I want before. I'm not really here to be the ultimate good that gets in the way of two fighting forces. I'm here to find the means to an end. I want to find a resource I can spread among all the countries, something that's shareable and agreeable, and, well, I mean, force people to have peace if they need it.
I think our safest spot would definitely be the archives, the Zephyrus archives. There are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of books and information that we can have. They may have more about the blood magic there than here. It wasn't what I was studying when I was there, but it's definitely a spot where we would at least be safe. We would have things to do, things to search. Tila would be safe.
I think that is a good place to go. My goal through this entire thing was, I believe that through knowledge, we can avoid these catastrophes from happening. And this might be the place to go to help further that ideal.
I think knowledge is going to be our strongest weapon in this entire thing. I don't think that us trying to fight our way through this is going to help at all. And the more knowledge we have, the better we're going to be able to stop all of this.
And if we can learn that forces are joining together to pull the Lichneys in different directions, we might be able to take that knowledge to our advantage as well.
Perhaps. That, I believe that'll happen in a couple days, though. And I don't know how we're honestly going to get there at this point. Maybe somebody I know can help send us there for a favor. But I'm not sure. But it's
If
quite
the
far. And it's mountains.
if the teleportation circles were up and running, it would be another story. I could pull some strings and we could get there in a jiff, but I have no idea if they were able to repair them.
I also
We
might
never.
be able... I can also check with my people here. They might have ways to get somewhere fast.
Well, sounds like you two can handle travel.
I mean, we'll try.
Yeah, I can't. Again, my entire thing relies on the fact that the teleportation circles are up and running. If they're not, we would have to go by good old horse and cart, which could put all of us in the grave.
Well, the only thing I have left in this city to do is just ask Mr. Venahouse, as he is the head of the college, what he would think, as he might be the most knowledgeable person in the city for removing curses, or maybe he knows someone. But most likely we won't find our answer here. So, is everybody okay with leaving soon? Today? Tonight?
I think as soon as possible.
Yes. Let's. I think. Let's all rejoin to our rooms, the corridor in our rooms at sundown, and take it from here.
Doable.
Endel, can you get Tila ready to be moved and get your things ready? Maybe tie up any loose ends that you have here.
Yeah, sure. Well, luckily I don't have any loose ends really. Just a bit worries on how we're gonna transport Tila since she is...
Well, we're gonna look for a magic route.
Alright.
I'm not riding on a horse.
Yeah, that's I'm trying to avoid having us traveling for days outside
Right.
because I don't think that would be a smart idea.
Yes, well, there's several things that, feel us very weak. Even the travel from our home to the high plains was really very exhausting for her. I couldn't imagine her going outside.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, the only thing I'm worried about is my supply of red lotuses to cure her, since I'm only able to get some here.
How much do you have on hand? For how many days?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe like 2 was, maybe 3 was. If you really.
Oh, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And Israel, assume you're. Are you able to like find plants in the wild?
Can you grow it?
I don't believe you can just go it. Otherwise,
If it was that easy, you'd already be doing it.
yes, I've been
And
paying
making good luck.
good money to get
Well, I
them.
mean, Israel, she can do, she can make flowers in her hand. It's a valid question.
See, I can do simple things in my hands. I do have access to plant growth,
Oh.
which is a spell that would allow me to bring vitality into a plant, but then I would have to have an actively planted red lotus flower that is still, in the ground and has roots and is quote unquote alive for me to be able to do that. Right now, what we have is, yes, the red lotus, but that has been transformed into medicine.
Right. Well,
So,
good news. We're gonna be finding a cure for ourselves. And as we mentioned, our curse is probably a little more potent, so I'm sure we can probably find a cure for your sister as well. And it should be even easier.
I'm happy that you're so optimistic.
Kind of have to be in this circumstance. Otherwise, you'd all go crazy like me.
Good point.
I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm right there with you, man.
Great.
Okay.
once we get to the archives, or maybe before, we can maybe try to see if we can get Red Lotus to be delivered there. I don't even know if they have supply of that over there.
Yeah, so maybe I should say how I got a hold of it, which is it's not legal.
Well, yeah, we were with you in the shop.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like we would have to find a quote unquote supplier, and I had to specifically request for it. Since they didn't have it, and
That does remind me, I should check in with your fellow, as we have things we need to rid ourselves of.
If he has a seed, I don't think it's gonna work, but I could try to grow a plant from one of the seeds. Again, like I said, I don't think it's gonna work, but it's my only thought right now. It's my only solution, at least temporary.
Yeah. Well, I only received like dried out leaves from the lotus. Like, I don't actually receive the entire plant. It's leaves.
I understand he gives you that, but have you ever asked for the seeds or the plant? Or have you just ever asked for the medicine to help your sister?
Well, I just asked if he had like the blood lotus, and then he was like, "Oh, let me see what I can do." And then he said he would only be able to supply me with dried, crumbled up leaves, since that's the only thing that's being traded with. He didn't even want to tell me where he got them. That's how secret he was about it.
Oh, we also were willing to make deals with him to give him more money. So we
do need to check in on him.
We can check with him before the end of the day. Add that to the list.
If I have to, I can give him more product to get us seeds.
There we go.
Okay.
It would be nice to have a lot of money, though.
Right?
To
That's
be able
why
to
I
start
have it.
traveling.
And again, you have a couple of osprey, so we can make do.
Yeah. It's just, worrying about stuff.
Of course.
I want to be able to buy us a castle where your sister can live happily ever after with all the books she could ever want.
Me too.
Oh.
I pull out the contract I wrote for him, unscroll it, point to section C, part 1, that says his needs will be met by Dr. Fiera.
Oh.
Then scroll it back, put it in. I'll take care of you.
Come on.
All the feels.
Okay, well, guess we start off focusing on preparing to get out of here, I guess.
Yeah.
So much for all that money we spent on no leads.
Yeah.
I did have to fight in the arena. Yes!
Yes, that is really unfortunate. I might have to ask for a refund before we leave.
Gosh, we can deal with that another time.
I would actually like a refund. I got a curse last time I visited them.
Exactly.
We should have been notified that was a possibility.
We were in the splash zone.
Yeah, you guys are really close. Well,
I want my money back. That was not cheap.
Alright, we should get a move on then.
Yes.
And is anybody else hungry? We haven't eaten all day. At least I haven't.
Oh, I had breakfast with Dr. Fiera earlier.
Right.
It was breakfast. Oh yeah, I was in the hospital.
Yep.
All right, well, let's go back to the high plains. It is good food. They do have good food there, so I mean we can enjoy it last evening, I suppose, and get Tila ready to go.
Fiera, you wanted to talk to some people before leaving?
Just the head of the college, yes. If anyone knows anything about a cure for us in this city, it would probably be him. You guys can all join me if you want. I don't think you've met him. And I got rid of my mark, so you might need to see one of yours.
Does any one of you want to go? Because I could go to the High Castle in the meantime to try to see if they can help us get to the archives quick.
I
do have
I
it
don't.
down.
I kind of want to go back to the High Castle. It's been a long day. My brain's been overloaded today.
Eric, do you want to meet somebody super important and high up in society?
You know the answer to that, but it's probably
Oh, and I have news for him that actually might be important to you.
yeah.
Way to twist Irik's arm.
Andal, you'll join us back to the High Plains so you can take care of your sister.
Well, I actually, how about we split up and I just quickly go to my contact in the Delaware to, see if he has made any, just so
Will you be okay on your own?
Oh, but we needed to go there too to check on the same
Sure.
contact.
I've been, I can also deal with that if we want to. I mean,
Do you feel comfortable carrying some for bargaining chips?
yeah, I think I'll be fine. My whole thing is not being able to get caught, so I'm still pretty confident in that ability. If I had to face him one-on-one, then no, definitely not. But if I just have to carry it, it's not the first time I had to do something like that.
Okay, so I will give you. We're still in the
Yeah, you
the
said.
enclosed room.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
while we're still in this room, I'm gonna hand you 2 bags that are each 10 grams. So I'm giving you 20 grams to use for bargaining chips to help you get seeds for your sister.
Wait, but we are leaving, right?
Ideally.
Yes, but if he says, "Oh, I can't do this," we'll be like, "Well, I'll give you 2 of these to make it happen."
Yeah, but I mean,
Like on the double.
yeah, I don't think you will get it in a day. That'd be amazing. I mean, it takes literal voss to even just get my dried leaves. I have to wait I think it's 5 voss until I get my next batch.
You can use your 2 bags as bargaining chips however you want.
That's why I'm glad I'm not going to be there.
Or would you rather me do this? Would you rather me
No.
suck it up and go with you and I will bargain for you?
No. I'm fine. I'm just thinking that I just won't get it, I think it's just I will find out. I'll just do it. It's fine.
You can always just bring him back.
Yeah. it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't get caught.
Last time someone tried to kidnap me, I was kidnapped, but the last time before that, I wasn't caught. So...
The last time you were kidnapped, you were with someone. This time you're going alone, so your
But,
chances of escaping are higher.
yes,
With a bunch of drugs.
and to be fair, the only reason why I got kidnapped is because I trusted Fiera. I told her that he was suspicious, and I
You
was
saw
right.
the food, though.
Yeah! You... before even that, before he enticed me with this delicious food, and I was not under the influence of any external influence. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
It's story for another day.
Okay, well, here's your 20 grams. Use this bargaining chips however you need it. Don't get caught with it. Okay?
Yep. Neon Fighter Tilburn is on his way. I think enough.
Be safe.
He marches out and nods his head as he kind of leaves.
We're never gonna see him again, are we?
If I was him, I would go take that, grab my sister, sell those, and go retire. And I wouldn't hold it against him.
I know that's a lot of money that I just gave him.
It's fine. We can find them magically. No, I'll go talk to my house and meet you guys tonight.
Oh man, that's so good.
Okay, and I guess that is a perfect time to end the session as you kind of all presumably leave the library to all go onto your separate errands and are in a state of, I guess, a mix
Just
of...
a state. We're just in a
You're
state.
in a state.
We're just in a state.
You're all in a state. Just in a state. Is it California? Is it Texas? We don't know. It's just a state. I had to make that joke. I apologize. Yeah. That is the end of session episode number 20.
And information has come full circle.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was like big, not even just lore drop, it was like tie-up job. To
Yeah, nearly.
Oh yeah, we just went full circle.
Yeah.
yeah.
It fits the circle. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been very fun to see how your other characters would have, tried to get this information just from the other side.
God, I don't
Oh my god.
We'll never know. They're in the bottom of the ocean, probably eaten by demons, or they became demons,
I guess we might have come to Azathia because of Altaria's background.
I
I don't
mean,
know what Kai would have done there. Kai would have not knowing what the hell to do with himself.
if we were to go back to Azathia, I was in my head picturing it as some like level 15 shit. Like we needed to do a lot before we just wandered back there.
Oh yeah,
That's
because Namira also learned that her protection band was involved in some shady shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And she was from Azathia as well, so
Right?
And then
yeah.
fun fact, so we had an Inquisition member in our last group, and then I took over the reins this group
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in this campaign.
Yeah.
It's like
Uh,
not learned from past mistakes, I guess. Or maybe just very
Hey, we
excited.
got a lot of good information from it last time, though.
I mean, to be fair, in the first campaign, our Inquisition member tried to run away from the Inquisition.
True.
yeah. Kind of doing the same thing Cinnifer is doing, like, actually, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah, Viltari saw shit coming. He's like, oh, fucking
Yeah,
nope.
I'm not dealing with
Okay.
this. And he stepped away.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't keep the composure when y'all were laughing when Harold stepped inside. I was like, dang it.
Oh no, I heard the name and my brain went no.
yeah, I was just like,
The name was dropped like a few episodes ago, wasn't it? Like I remember reacting like, well, shit, here we go.
Yep. Yeah, we knew he was coming. But to
I-
step into
I-
our booth,
Yeah.
I knew he was involved and I was like, makes sense, like the Inquisition and all that, blah blah blah. Makes sense that we are going to hear from him. I
This is
was
fun
not
time.
expecting to meet him and work for him again.
I mean,
Or, you know, have a sending stone to communicate with him.
we don't need that.
Again.
We're leaving. We don't need to work for him. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not like
He's into messy stuff.
he's like, yeah, he didn't like ask to work for him. It's just like, you seem to be people who are able to get to certain piece of knowledge that he would like to have, and it's just a nice contact to have. And you
Is it?
yeah, you are now high society members going rogue. I mean, it's the same that he went through, so he's like kind of seeing himself currently instead of you. You're just taking a
I
different.
don't even know if my name holds any weight anymore.
Mine's about to lose a little bit of weight.
Yeah, can't rely on your names. Gotta establish your own ones.
I recommend just like wiping yourself from history.
Jeez.
Just you know, like Isobel's mom. Not Isobel, Numira's mom, who just
Yeah.
went into
Yeah.
the
Went
woods.
full insane and hermited herself into the woods and completely disbarred herself from society. She's
Yeah.
probably still in her little cottage somewhere in the woods of Azathia.
Yeah,
Maybe
There
we'll
you go.
find her.
Yeah,
Aw.
Who knows?
and maybe just like wait out the war. Maybe it will, you know, just pass by like a bad storm, and you just step back into society after it's over.
Yeah.
Just completely
She
ignored.
probably suspects absolutely nothing right now and is just living her little life, wondering what's happening with her daughter.
Trying to think. There's a possibility that if we go to the archives and somehow we level up, I could get teleport circles. We could teleport back for the arena.
Did you?
No,
No.
But we have to level up in like a boss.
You're gonna have to do a lot to bring Eirik there.
Yeah, you have to level up twice until you get it. Like
Oh, are we
Yeah.
7 or 8?
you're 7.
Oh,
Yeah,
shoot. Okay. That'll be pretty tough then.
yeah. I mean, this entire session was like only, I think, like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to the library.
Yeah.
The books.
So if you just stay inside of the library, time passes slower, as we found out. I mean, you always have to have... At least this library session was a bit more relaxed than the last one.
Oh,
Yup. We're following a few patterns.
I mean, it's just like a D&D pattern. Like, if you get stomped on information, you just go to a library. I think that's
Yeah.
just a thing you do. Yep. Also makes me happy because then I didn't prep specific books for nothing. So that always makes me
I
happy.
found the exact book I need, so yeah.
Yeah.
well, yeah.
I think
Books.
enough of us blambering. We are going to sign off here, and we will see you guys with episode number 21. Hopefully next week, and we're gonna see where these peeps are going to and how. Bye.